Hi kids, it's great to see you all this morning. I hope you all had a lovely break for Easter and you're all looking forward to getting back to school tomorrow. And I hope it's not long before we can see you all in person. So hopefully we'll see you all very soon, and I hope you enjoy your day.
Morning kids. So our story today is from the book of John, and it's in chapter 20 verses 19 to 29, and the story's focusing on one of the disciples, and his name was Thomas. Now, before we get into the story, have any of you ever thought to yourself sometimes when things have gone wrong in your life and you're maybe feeling sad about something that's happened, or you hear about somebody who's been very sick and you think to yourself, where's God? Is God really there? Why did God let this happen? And sometimes you get a wee bit doubtful. To doubt something is to just wonder, is it real or not? And that's what this disciple was called. He was called Doubting Thomas, because here's what happened. Remember at Easter we talked about our Jesus was crucified, and he was buried, and then he rose again. Well, after he rose, he came back to see his disciples. He visited them all together. The only one who wasn't there was Thomas that day. So all the disciples saw Jesus and saw that he had risen from the dead. So when Jesus left, and the disciples met Thomas later, they told him, look, we have seen Jesus, he's alive again, he's risen from the dead. And did Thomas say, oh great, that's brilliant, I really believe that? He didn't. He said to the other disciples, I don't believe that until I can see with my eyes the holes in his hands where the nails went in, and the hole in his side where they stuck the spear in. Not believing. I doubt that. He didn't believe that it had happened. He didn't believe that Jesus had come to see the other disciples. So then sometime later, all the disciples, like days later, not just a few hours later, days later, the disciples were all together again, and Thomas was with them this time, and who should appear but Jesus. And he went over to Thomas. He said, look, and he showed Thomas the holes in his hands where the nails had gone into his hands, and he let Thomas put his hand into the hole in his side. And then Thomas said, Lord, I believe. Now, Jesus didn't shout at him and say, Thomas, that was terrible that you didn't believe that I had come back from the dead. But what he did say was, blessed are those people who believe even when they haven't seen. And that's us. Blessed means happy. Jesus is happy with the people who haven't seen him with their eyes. They haven't heard him with their ears. They still believe. And that's who we are. And that belief is called faith. Now, it's okay to doubt. It's okay sometimes to wonder, and it's okay to ask questions, because that's just who we are. When you're in school, isn't that right? If a teacher tells you something and you're not too sure about it, it's okay to put your hand up and ask a question, isn't it? If you're watching a program on TV and you're not really sure what's happened, isn't it okay to say to your mum, what happened there? What was that about? It's okay to ask questions, and God doesn't mind that we ask questions either. Because God wants us to search and find the truth about him. And if we never ask questions and just say, well, I haven't seen that, so I don't believe it, and that's it, and just leave it like that, we will never get anywhere in our faith, in our walk with God. God doesn't mind if we are doubting things, or if we want to ask questions about things. That's okay. Now, you can find your answers in the Bible. There's lots and lots of things in the Bible, lots of stories like Doubting Thomas, stories about the disciples, stories in the Old Testament about Noah, about Abraham, about Jonah, lots of ones that we've done, and sometimes you can find your answers to your questions there. But sometimes there's questions maybe you have that you need to speak to an adult about. It's okay to ask your mum and dad, and it's okay to ask us, your kids' church leaders, and then we will do our best to give you the answer, because God wants you to look for the truth. And what did Jesus say? I am the way, the truth and the life. So there you go. Don't ever worry, and don't ever feel bad if sometimes you wonder where God is and everything, because sometimes life can be a bit icky, can't it? And it makes you wonder. But God wants us always to do our best to find the truth and to believe that He really is there. And do you know something? You see, when you look for that truth, you will find it, and God will make your faith stronger and stronger, because He will always be there to look out for you. If you even speak to any adults, they will tell you in times in their lives when they wondered where God was, whenever they thought about it later on, they realised that God was there to help them. So that's what we want you to do. So don't ever worry. Just think about Doubting Thomas. Yes, he had to see before he believed. And Jesus wasn't angry with him. But what he did say was, it's better if you are the type of person who still believes in me, even though you can't see me, because you know I'm there. Okay, kids, have a great week. And hopefully we'll see you all soon. Bye.
Good morning, East Point kids. Transformers are a really cool toy. I don't know if any of you have them, but basically Transformers are like robots that turn into vehicles and then back again. Okay, so Caleb has a couple of these and he has let me borrow them. So we have this one, okay? So it starts off like this. It's like a rocket maybe. Whee! So all you have to do is press this button and then pow! It's into a robot. Isn't that cool? So that was pretty easy, and then to change it back again, you just press the button and we're back. And then there's this one. Again, it starts off, it's a vehicle, you can see the wheels. And for this one, all you do, if I can remember, is press it, and then we've got this. And then there's this one. And so here it is. This one is in its robot form. But no matter what I do with this one, I just can't quite figure out how we make it into anything else. I don't know. I'll have to get Caleb to show me that one again. So as you can see, these Transformer toys, some of them are pretty easy to change. Some are like this one. Some of them are a bit more complicated. And some of them, well, it's so hard that we just give up. And that's a wee bit like our faith in God. There's times that we have questions and we have doubts, and there's nothing wrong with that. All we need is for somebody to come alongside us, listen to our questions, listen to our doubts, and they can show us how to find the answers maybe to our questions. And sometimes nobody really knows. Sometimes we have really hard questions. Sometimes you don't know the answer, but that's okay too. So just like our story today about Thomas, we are going to see how Thomas's doubt can be transformed into an even greater faith. And just like that, if we bring our questions and our queries and our doubts and our fears to God, He can transform our doubts into an even greater faith. And slowly, just like the Transformers, we can be transformed. And our doubt can give way to belief and faith.